Howdy guys, this is actually probably a very delayed fourth video log to what I released earlier for BaseTradeTV, but I've actually been really busy and I can probably get onto that in a minute. I actually don't have too much time this morning because of the same reasons, but I figured I'd better do something because I had a pretty awesome thing happen last night. So for those who are actually friends with me on Facebook or on SC2C or sort of know me, I actually proposed to my girlfriend last night. It was sort of hilariously awesome and funny at the same time. My original plans were to do it at AvCon, so I was meant to be casting at the Anime and Video Game Convention in Adelaide. That would have been really cool to do it there. Good thing I didn't. It was really amusing my end for that reason. Mainly because how emotional she is. So like, we went out last night, and I thought, well, she can't make it to the at the time I was going to do it at AvCon. I was going to do it at the end of the StarCraft stream and think that would be a really cool way to tie things off, and it'd be a really cool thing to have all the StarCraft peeps around me going yay and you're awesome. But she wouldn't be there. She'd be there for the morning, but not for that time slot where I was going to do it. And there's no point in doing it any other time because I wouldn't be able to get off the stream to spend time with her and hang out because it'd just be so jam packed. So I figured I'd just do it last night. I decided this yesterday because why not? So I decided this. I'm like, I'll just take her out somewhere. And I was talking to my friends. I'm like, oh, let's go to this place because this place is really nice. It was just they just do desserts and it was like the best food we've ever had. It was donuts filled with chocolate, and it had raspberry sorbet and vanilla ice cream and honeycomb pieces, and the honeycomb pieces and all that, and had pop rocks all around them, so it kept popping in your mouth every time you ate. It was seriously awesome. But initially before this, she was like, well, if we're going to have dessert, we better get something to eat beforehand. So we went to McDonald's. Which is obviously the most romantic place ever to go before you're going to propose to someone, of course. But yeah, so we had McDonald's before that on the way. I'm just like, what, I don't really care. I just wanted to go here because it looked really nice. And to be honest, I could have just had like 2 desserts and been full. It was that good. But yeah, so we went and had McDonald's, as you do, mind you. And then we went there, and she actually thought it was really nice, and she thought something was a bit suspicious. Apparently, when we got out the car, because I was like, I don't apparently encourage littering. Normally, I don't give a shit. I just chuck it under the car. Yes, I'm naughty, but when there's no bins around, it can't be helped. I don't like having rubbish in my car. It pisses me off. So yeah, I wouldn't let her put her rubbish in a certain part of the car because that's where we normally put it, and that's where I had the ring hiding. So after she get out, I had to sneak it out, which apparently is suspicious too, but she didn't think anything of it. We went and had our meal anyway. It was really nice, and I was actually going to do it in the restaurant, but it was fairly busy. I didn't want to do that because, again, she's a very emotional person, which you'll find out in a minute, and she's going to hate me for saying this as well. But, so we had our meal, we got out, and we're just wandering along, and she's just like, oh, it was really nice, and blah blah, and I'm like, well, no, stop here, because I wanted to. And then I'm hugging her. I'm just like, stuff it, here we go. And I just like, no, not on the knee or anything, because that would be too cliche for me. I just pull it out, and I pull out the box which was in my pocket, and I just put it in her hand, and the look of sheer horror in her face when she realizes what she's got in her hand, and then I show her what it is, and she just flips out. And for about 30 seconds, all I hear is no, her shaking her head, and tears are streaming down her face because she cannot believe that I've actually done this, because apparently I wasn't going to do this for a couple of years, which I initially wasn't, but I'm weird like that, and I'm awesome. So I decided to be a bit of a douche and just do it. So yeah, so she ended up in tears, and it was like, well, this is really cool, and yeah, and I didn't even get to open the box while we were standing there. That's how emotional she was. Like, I had the box there. I showed her the box, and she just bawled out in tears. And I had to take her to the car and sit her down first before I could put it on her, which is amusing in itself. And then the 15-minute journey from there to home, she would not stop crying because of tears of happiness. Apparently they're tears of happiness, but yeah, so she wouldn't stop crying, and it was, I think it's going to be the most memorable night of my life to this point, because it was just hilarious. I mean, it shouldn't be funny, and I know, but it really is, because I did not expect that reaction. I expected it to be all super hypo. And looking back on it, it's probably a good thing, again, that it wasn't at Avcon and I didn't do it in the restaurant, because she would have just given me the 7th degree of hell for doing it, because she would have been so embarrassed for crying in front of everyone. So, yeah, that's pretty much my story. So yeah, I brought my girlfriend to tears and made her say no multiple times to me proposing to her, but she still took it, which is an interesting way. Anyway, so I actually do have the ring here somewhere on their. If I get their website up, I can actually just show you what it is. If I can, you know, I've got like so many different. I think Monitor One does it. Game capture, monitor capture. Hang on, guys. I'll get it back up. There we go. Edit scene. So that's the ring there. I'll just zoom in. Yeah, so that's the ring there that I got her. So it's a birthstone ring, which is it's really sweet actually. It looks really really nice. So it's garnet and peridot and diamonds, and it's really really sick. And yeah, so that's what I ended up getting her, and she's like all like, oh my god, it's super awesome and shit. But yeah, so that's that anyway. So I thought everyone might be interested to know about that. Anyway, aside from that fun stuff, so this is the bit where you go, oh, that's what I wanted to hear about. You can just log, so you guys can just log off. But I have actually been working on UI stuff. I actually have been working on graphic stuff. It's just been past couple of weeks. I've been doing like 10 to 12-hour days, like every day, and I just haven't had time to do anything but just the essential stuff. What I've got to do. So there won't be any updates for the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping to get one out at the end of next week for the UI. I want to crank one out. Fingers crossed if I can get comfortable. So that would be cool. Fingers crossed if I can do that. But we'll wait and see how that works. Because what I want to do is fairly technical, and I don't know. It's not the coding that I'm worried about. It's more the graphical styling that I'm worried about putting on there. So if I can get that to work fine, that would be awesome. Yeah, so guys, if you have any suggestions for what you want to see, I know one person said they wanted to see the unit upgrades, which, to be honest, if you have a good observer, they're always clicking on the units. You should always see anyway. But I think people are going, oh, this isn't Game Heart, and therefore it should be. And it's not. Game Heart is a completely different project, and they have completely different powers. So the way they're editing it, they can do so many things. But with mine, it's somewhat limited, but it works much more fluently. Like I used GameHub for the first time last Saturday. I casted the Abcon qualifiers, which is cool. But I used GameHub for the first time last Saturday, and it was probably the most least enjoyable experience I've ever had. It lags so hard. And everything that you do, so like if you're already selecting units is okay, but to go from unit selection to seeing the unit, the player income down in the bottom corner where it disappears, that actually has like a half-second delay, I think, which is really, really trippy. It shouldn't really be delayed at all. And I think most of other things actually have that delay too. If you go to do something, it's actually going to take its time to activate before it actually does it. And following units using unit vision is another one, and it was just, yeah, not streamlined at all. I'm so used to using just the custom observer and the standard observer that this is just trippy. I mean, yeah, it's got the extra features, you can zoom out and all that, but to be honest, I don't find them that useful. If you do, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, it's just, I did not enjoy using it. It was really, really trippy. But yeah, so I might try and include unit upgrades, just the +1, +2, but I actually don't see a need for it. But if you continually click on the units, but again, that's up to you guys. That's up to you. Like if you want to see it, I'll try, see if it looks, and if people like it, I'll keep it. And if they don't, then I'll just remove it. Aside from that, I'm working on a different unit selection panel, so I'm not going to use the standard horizontal one. I'm going to compress it and relayer it so it makes a bit more sense, and you can see where everything is a bit better. Because at the moment it uses a lot of space. And I'm trying to compress the UI as much as possible and provide as much information as possible. And that unit selection in the bottom right hand corner is just, it's so bad. Like, there's so much free space. Most of that comes down to the group selection, where you have what you have 27 units. You can no 24 units you can select. But from my knowledge, and anyone can correct me on this, and you can comment, you can tweet me at FlamgaSC2 if you want, or email me at flamgasc2@gmail.com. You can email me and let me know if this is the case. But for anything where you're selecting units, I am of the opinion that anything over 16 in unit selection is a bit excessive. Because in general, you're either selecting them so you can see their health bars, but if that's the case and you're doing a big battle, you've got their health bars up by holding Alt, so you can see their health on the thing. So you're not looking down there, you're looking at the battle. Then if you're, say, okay, there's a group of Mutalisk, well, the best number for Mutalisk initially, like if you're going mass muta, would be about 16-ish. If you're building a lot of swarm hosts, anything more than 16 is ridiculous. Broodlords, same thing. Carriers, anything more than 16 is just like out of this world. When does that happen? Zerglings, well, who cares if you've got more than 16? Roaches, same thing. Unless it's early game, in which case, if you've got more than 16, that's amazing. If it's less, then it's like, well, you've got some units, but I don't know if you can kill them. I think that's a really good number to sit around, so only displaying the first 16, and then not displaying the other panels, because we're only showing a basic selection. If you want to do the whole thing, well, they're on the screen. There's no point in having the tabs on the side, because I don't think I've seen any caster actually go down, group more than 24 units, and then go on the thing and click through all the sub-menus. It's a bit silly. Another thing I'll be including is the unit abilities. I've already put that in, but I've got text issues for some reason. Now all the text has reset itself, so once I correct that, that'll be in there. You'll be able to see, when units have their abilities, when they're on cooldown, that sort of thing, which would be really, really cool. Aside from that, I'll just be updating the graphics as well, so it's not just going to be black like the Game Heart one, or like the one my one is at the moment. It's going to be a bit more coloured, a bit more like the Terran HUD I would like to make it. So it's a bit more integrated with the game, but we'll see how that goes anyway. Yeah, so if you do have any suggestions or anything that you'd like to see, let me know. Again, there are certain limitations on it, but I'm trying to find workarounds for them, and I think Blizzard will eventually release workarounds where you can edit the Blizzard UI files, and that's the biggest issue, is that with triggers you can edit those, but with the UI you can't. So technically, by using triggers to change those sort of things, it's really, really trippy, and it can cause lots of issues where this is just like, even if I stuff up a certain file, everything else is still going to work really, really well, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's really about it, so I hope you did enjoy that. I've actually got to go, I've got to upload this, and I've got to go like breakfast, and I've got to go straight to work. I'm working like 11 till 6 today, which isn't too bad. This is why I've got time to do this, but then I've got 6 till 6 tomorrow, and 11 till 9 tomorrow night, Thursday night, then I've got 6 till 6 Friday night, and I'm just going to be stuffed. And it's going to be fun, and that time I've got to do some other things as well. So guys, thank you for tuning in, hearts for watching, and you guys are awesome, and huzzah for putting the leash on someone, because that's an awesome thing to do.